Hi, I'm Dr. Sebastian from Target Teach Tutors. I am going to discuss the answers for the past paper questions on photosynthesis. Also, I will give the link about photosynthesis during this session. This is a question paper, OCR board, May 2018, higher tier. First of all, we will see question 21A. Photosynthesis involves the reactions that are endothermic. What is meant by the term endothermic? You will get 1 mark for this definition. What do you understand about endothermic? Endo means in and thermic means thermal energy. Now we will see the definition. The definition is energy is absorbed from the environment for the reactions to occur. There are two types of reactions. One is endothermic reaction and other one is exothermic reaction. Good example for endothermic reaction is photosynthesis, where the reactants are carbon dioxide and water, while the products are glucose and oxygen. The energy levels between the reactants and the products are different. So the difference in energies between the reactants and products is the amount of energies absorbed. For theoretical information about the photosynthesis, copy this link and view it on the YouTube. The second type of reaction is exothermic reaction. The good example for the exothermic reaction is burning of fuel. Example is propane. It is C3H8. So the reactants are propane plus oxygen. The products are carbon dioxide and water. The difference in energies between the reactants and the products is the amount of energy released. We will move on to question 21b. The graph is from an experiment to show the effect of temperature on the rate of photosynthesis. Draw a line of best fit. The rate of photosynthesis is on the y-axis while the temperature is on the x-axis. So we'll see how to draw best fit line. It will be now we will go to question 21c. Look at the graph. It shows how light intensity affects the rate of photosynthesis. The lines show different carbon dioxide concentrations and temperatures. Explain what is the limiting the rate of photosynthesis at the 3 points A, B, and C. Use the evidence from the graph in your answer. The rate of photosynthesis is on the y-axis while the light intensity on the x-axis. To compare the limiting factors at A, B, and C, I am going to mark these three graphs as 1, middle one as 2, and the lowest one as 3. Now we will look into what could be the limiting factor at point A. So when we compare all three graphs, when light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increases. At point A, the light intensity is the lowest. Therefore, the limiting factor at point A is light. Now we will look into the limiting factor at point B. For this, we are going to compare the graph 2 and 3. The graph 2 and 3 has got the carbon dioxide concentration at the same level, that means 0.1%. But the temperature in graph 3 is 20 degrees centigrade and graph 2 is 30 degrees centigrade. When you compare these two graphs, when the temperature increases, rate of photosynthesis also increases. Therefore, the limiting factor at point B is temperature. Now we will see what could be the limiting factor at point C. So for this, we have to compare graph 1 and 2. So at graph 1, the temperature is 30 degrees and graph 2 is also 30 degrees centigrade. However, the carbon dioxide concentration is 0.2% at graph 1, while the carbon dioxide concentration is 0.1% at graph 2. When the carbon dioxide concentration is greater, the rate of photosynthesis is very much greater. Therefore, the limiting factor at point C is carbon dioxide. Now we will look into question 21D. The diagram shows structures on the surface of a leaf. Question 1. Photosynthesis occurs in the guard cells but not the epidermal cells. Explain why this is important in the control of the rate of transpiration in the plant. As the stem says, the photosynthesis occurs in the guard cells, not in the epidermal cells. That means the formation of glucose in the guard cells, that means higher concentration of glucose in the guard cells compared to the epidermal cells. On the other hand, the water content in the epidermal cells is very much higher than that of the guard cells. That means the higher water potential in the epidermal cells than that of the guard cells. Therefore, the movement of water from the epidermal cells into the guard cells by the process of osmosis. So the process increases the turgidity of the guard cells and opens the stomata and thereby alters transpiration. Now we will go to question 21D2. Explain why guard cells are an example of specialized cells. Guard cells are specialized cells because they are differentiated for controlling the movement of water through transpiration. This is an edX Biology paper 2, June 2018, higher tier. Now we will look into question 8a. Figure 16 shows the effect of light intensity and temperature on the rate of photosynthesis. Describe the effect of light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis. Now we will look into the graph to describe the effect of light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis. Rate of photosynthesis is on the y-axis, light intensity is on the x-axis. So when we look into this graph, as the light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increases up to this point. At this point, there is no further change in the rate of photosynthesis, though the light intensity increases. That means the graph plateaued. That means no change or remains the same. That means the light intensity is the limiting factor at this point. Now we will look into the second part of the question, where the temperature change on the rate of photosynthesis. Increasing the temperature, increasing the rate of photosynthesis, it shows in the graph. That means increasing temperature increases the enzyme activity that enhances a collision and then increases the rate of reaction. That means rate of photosynthesis. Rate of photosynthesis peaked at optimum temperature. That means it is peaked at the optimum temperature is here for the enzymes to work maximally. Rate of photosynthesis fell abruptly beyond this point. Optimal temperature point due to denaturation of enzymes active site. We'll move on to question 8b. A student measured the rate of photosynthesis using algal balls in a laboratory. The tube of algal balls was kept at a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and was moved to different distances from a light source. The results of this investigation showed that the rate of photosynthesis is. From these results of the experiment, you are asked to select one of the responses from A to D. This basic plan of the experiment is to test the effect of photosynthesis at different distances of light source. Before we select the response, we have to be aware that the rate of photosynthesis is indirectly proportional to the increasing distance. So we have to select the responses A and D that are related to distances. Response B and C are not related for this selection. Responses A is directly proportional to the distance from the light source, so it is not the correct answer to this question. Then the response D is inversely proportional to the distance from the light source is the correct response. As the students, you are aware that conveyed experiment you are done in your school laboratory. We'll move on to question 8C. Explain how substances are moved through a plant by transpiration and translocation. It is a 6 marks question. I have included all the necessary points in this concise description. As students, you learn how to write an answer to a 6 marks question. You have to learn to write over and over again and read yourself to obtain the whole marks. This is a specimen paper 2018 AQA board paper 1 higher tier. Question 2. Tobacco mosaic virus TMV is a disease affecting plants. Figure 1 shows a leaf infected with TMV. Question 2.1. All tools should be washed in disinfectant after using them on plants infected with TMV. Suggest why. As the plant is infected by TMV, all the tools should be washed using disinfectant to prevent further spread or to kill the virus. Now we'll go to question 2.4. TMV can cause plants to produce less chlorophyll. This causes leaf discoloration. Explain why plants with TMV have stunted growth. The plants with TMV has low chlorophyll. That means if the plants with low chlorophyll, the production of glucose through photosynthesis also less. If the glucose is produced less, the production of the cellular structures will be poor or less. That means proteins formation for cellular structures will be low. In addition to that, the glucose is necessary for respiration. That means energy production. So energy production also less and respiration will be depressed. So that means all the functions of the plant will be suppressed. So as the proteins productions are less and all the functions of the plant is suppressed, the plant's growth will be decreased or it will be stunted. Thanks for watching this video. Remember to like this page, share with your friends, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.